This is Ryan from S Cannabis, Cincy Life Community News. It's the 9th of April 2013. Lots of stuff happening. Changing with the Bitcoin market, Litecoin, Namecoin. All of these cryptocurrencies are experiencing a major fluctuation, if not a big bubble, that may be popping soon, maybe not be. I've got in on it a little bit. Mostly I've just been investing in tangible things that I can actually hold in my hand and maybe use as a tool or something productive, but a little bit of cryptocurrency. I'm happy with the result. I'm happy for the people that I've talked to who have gotten into it. We've sent currency to people. We've just sent fractions to people just to demonstrate what Bitcoin was long before the big bubble, long before the increase. So those little tiny fractions that were worth pennies before, a couple bucks maybe, are worth quite a bit more now. And it went up from when I first started talking about this and getting into Bitcoin in 2011 till now. It's went from $6 back in 2011 all the way up to right at this moment $174. And that most of that gain happened just in the last month and a half. Probably 96% of that gain happened just in the last month and a half. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I hope that people did invest after, playing with the currency. I'm just happy to be a part of this. I didn't get rich off of this. I wish we would have, but, with 3 kids and 1 more on the way now, things are different for, a married couple than it is for a single couple. Or a single person. And that's good. I mean, we're cool with it. Baby number 4, I'm excited about. Everything is good, and we are blessed. And money's tight and things like that. But wealth isn't found in money, in my opinion, anyway. So, but you can influence different freedom experiences, and that's why I believe in the free market. And this is one thing, and I have to say this to just about every socialist that I've met, that I've argued with, and that have came up with really dirty things to say about capitalism or myself, or to whatever degree of insanity. In my capitalist world, you can be a socialist. In my voluntary world, that's what I'm really talking about here, is volunteerism. I'm not talking about greed, and I'm not talking about crony capitalism, and I'm not talking about government welfare for businesses. I'm not talking about bailouts. I'm not talking about any of that cronyism. I'm just talking about the free market, and I'm talking about voluntary societies that people can choose to opt into one thing or another, or they can choose to opt out. And so I've, just recently, I think this is probably what's gotten me most concerned about it, but recently having a conversation with a friend that ended, I think, badly. And it was about capitalism, and sometimes weird other topics pop into the conversation too, but mostly it's about volunteerism and socialism and the differences. And I like to get different people's opinions and different cultural experiences, and I always talk about this, and I always end up either with a really good experience or a really bad experience. Usually there's no in-betweens, and I like it that way. I don't like to sit on the fence. I've never been one to sit on the fence. If I have a complaint about something, then I also have a solution. I don't complain about something that I don't have a solution for. That's my prerogative. And so, I'm just talking about volunteerism and more freedom. And so if people want to be socialist, and in my opinion, that's fine, even with what we've got for Social Security and Medicare and welfare. If people want to volunteer to be in that system, say there's just a bunch of very helpful people out there that make some good money, and some of them maybe like Bill Gates, and I recently heard J.K. Rowling's, which of course she's from England, but gave up a big chunk of her fortune to charity. And if people want to be socialist in that way, and if they feel compelled to help out, then that's good, and they should do that. Totally honorable, endeavor. Absolutely. But I don't think they should be forced into it. I think it's wrong to expect people uh, to do something at the end of a gunpoint, because if I don't pay my Social Security, say if I divide the income tax that I pay up into different sections, and this portion of my income tax goes to war, this portion of my income tax goes to funding abortions, or free cell phones, or Lord knows what else, publicly, with my money. And so these portions of it go towards, these different things that I totally disagree with. So I'm going to disagree with paying those things, and I don't pay them. I pay all the other things that I do agree with. Say I believe in welfare, and I want to participate in food stamps, and I want people to have WIC, and I want, and these are things I absolutely want if they're run efficiently. But when they don't run efficiently, it's because the government has a monopoly in the market. Retirement, that's all the government. The government has a monopoly on that. Certainly, people invest and buy stocks and things for their retirement. But as far as like a retirement plan, like an insurance type of thing, where you're guaranteed a livable wage, that's the government, and that's a monopoly they have. And so it's inefficient. It's giving out more than it's taking in. It'll be insolvent by 2030. Which is coming up soon. I mean, geez, it's 2013, and that's 17 years away. That's before I retire. Why do I want to pay into something that I can't get at some later time? That they've already declared it's insolvent. Yeah, they could fix it, but are you seriously thinking the government's going to fix anything? When have they ever made anything better with their bureaucracy? When have they ever done anything productive that the market couldn't do without them more productively? I don't think that the government has the capacity, because they're not accountable. It's just like the Federal Reserve. Even Congress has no oversight of the Federal Reserve. That's the one of the biggest driving forces behind a country, a stable country, is their economy and their treasury, and that's all controlled by bankers, not by Congress, not by elected officials, not by people in the citizens of the country, the public sector. It's private investors, bankers that own large fortunes, that charge interest on printing money for us that we are to use as currency, while they collect interest on every transaction made. It's disgusting. What happened in 1913 with the Federal Reserve Act and the Income Tax Act has been tragic. Has been absolutely tragic. That was under a Democratic president and a Democratic Congress. That's why I come down on Democrats so much. Wilford Woodruff and the Democratic majority in Congress in 1913 screwed this whole country up. From then forward, we went through one of the major crises that we've seen in this country. Nothing compared to what we see now, but the Great Depression. Although it looked worse from looking back at it, statistically, the monetary difference, the wealth disparity between classes, and the poverty levels now, and the extreme amount of public assistance and bankruptcies and everything else, and loss of work, and people giving up on the job market and not seeking employment any longer, has grown so exponentially in this collapse compared to the last collapse, which was a Great Depression, that it's almost uncomparable. And the debt that we're in now, it's crazy. We've never seen this kind of debt in this country, and we're practically insolvent. Where our GDP is less than our public debt per year. We can't even touch the interest rate. We can't even touch the interest on all of our debt. So yeah, we've kind of shifted over to Bitcoin. We've we like the free market. We like competitive currencies. We like competitive insurance plans. We like competitive retirement plans. I don't care if people opt into socialism on their own right, if they decide that, if they volunteer, if they say, hey, the good of society is to support all these other people and let's put big money in a pot and share it with them. That's fine. If Warren Buffett wants to drop $1 billion in a pot and spread it out equally towards, these, areas of the population or these classes of the population, wealth classes and such, that's fine. I don't care. If Bill Gates wants to do that, that's fine. I hope they do. I really do. I encourage them to do that. That's a noble thing, and you've got more than you would ever need. So why the hell not? Don't be absolutely filthy greedy and not share. Because I mean, what kind of a legacy does that leave the world? And what kind of example does that show when all your needs are met, and you can't even, do that without forcing everybody else to. And that's what pisses me off about Warren Buffett. Yeah, he's, donating to charities and he's helping out, and I applaud him for it. But then he's saying to the rest of the wealth and people that have the wealth in this country, he's saying to them, hey, to the government, and he's counseling the government on this. He's saying you need to give more. And that's that's my word on this, is that the government needs to change things so that the wealthy give more. And why doesn't he set a good example? And if he doesn't feel like he's giving enough to the government or to whatever charity or whatever social program, if he doesn't feel like he's giving enough, why doesn't he go and set the example, give more than what he's being taxed to whatever cause or whatever bureaucracy, and encourage others in his wealth class or in other wealth classes, in all wealth classes for that matter, if that's what his aim is, to do what he has done, to take his wealth and give it to the disadvantaged people in the world, and just do it instead of complaining about not doing it and why the government doesn't allow him to do it or doesn't make him do it. Instead of him telling everybody else to, have their wealth and their lifestyle changed and their freedom changed, instead of him saying that to everybody else and trying to make the government change that for everybody, just lead by example. That's all I'm saying. Any of these socialists, the people that are in a wealth class closer to mine, where I'm not very wealthy, I'm pretty poor, and many, and many, government programs and things that we can qualify for. I mean, we can qualify for quite a few of them, even making the money that we pull in together, which I think we work hard and I think we do good, but I can still qualify for government programs that I don't accept. Obviously, I wouldn't accept them, making good money and doing well in life and working hard. There's no way. Not that I would never do it, but I just, I have respect for that system. However, some people don't. Some people abuse it. And if people like the wealthy people who are encouraging charity want to give charity, I think that society should be voluntary and they should be able to give charity if they want to. And people should be able to opt out if they want to. And people shouldn't have to decide to, or have the retirement plan decided for them by the government. And people shouldn't have to have their medicine prescribed by the government, and people should have choices, not mandates. This is a free country. This is what it's about, is liberty. I just bought a shirt on eBay that said, do what you want, pay for yourself, libertarian. You know what I'm saying? Do what you want, pay for yourself.